Hello, my good people of Biafra land, the lovers of freedom and the lovers of mankind. I am here once again, your one and only Okute Daily Talk Corners, where we split the truth and nothing but the truth, where we speak to you in the language that is very, very clear and understanding to every Dix and Harry out there that loves what we are doing. Okute Daily Talk, where we speak to you with undiluted truths on things happening in Biafra land, Nigeria, and also the Africa at large. Please pay much attention to this very, very important breaking news that we got for you this Friday morning. Please listen attentively, tighten your seatbelt. We are moving forward. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu approaches Supreme Court appeals judgment. The indigenous people of Biafra on Thursday confirmed that its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, had approached the Supreme Court to set aside the ruling of the Court of Appeal, staying the execution of the court judgment, discharging him from all offenses. The lead lawyer to the IPOB and human rights activist, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, said this in a statement made available to the Punch in Abuja as of yesterday. He said, we have appealed to the Supreme Court to set aside the ruling of the Court of Appeal, staying the execution of the court judgment, discharging and placing further bar to any further detention and prosecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on any charge and indictment before any court in Nigeria. Recall that on October 28, 2022, a three-man panel of learned justice of the Court of Appeal, Abuja Judicial Division, granted an application for the stay of execution of the judgment of the Court of Appeal, pending the determination of the appeal filed before the Supreme Court by the federal government of Nigeria. After a thorough review of the said ruling by our defense team, eminently led by a foremost leading senior advocate of Nigeria, Chief Mike Ozekome, son, an informed decision was taken by the erudite senior senior advocate and the entire team that the said ruling, which has no foundation in law or facts placed before the court, should be immediately appealed against, for it is to be set aside by the apex court. Our well-informed positions was given a final nod by our indefeatable client, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, during my last visit to him, says by Ejiofor. We are therefore by this medium informing the general public and Chineke in particular that we have filed an appeal against the said ruling of the Court of Appeal delivered on October 28 in the year 2022. We will proactively follow up on the administrative process to ensure that both appeals are given an accelerated hearing in line with the extant fast-track rules of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. We will keep anyone abreast of the development in the appeals as we progress. We respectfully urge you all to still remain peaceful and law-abiding as always, and rest assured that the ruling of the Court of Appeal now appealed against will be reviewed on merit by learned justice of the Supreme Court. Let us reiterate, for the avoidance of any doubt, that the said ruling did not interfere in any way with the status of the judgment of the Court of Appeal, discharging Onyendu from all charges. The judgment of the Court of Appeal discharging Onyendu and striking out the 7-count charge still subsists. It has to been set aside. Thank you all and remain blessed. Chineke, says by Barrister Ejiofor. So my great people of Biafra, the ones who are lovers of freedom, who have been in one way or the other promoting this struggle for the restoration of Biafra and the independence of Biafra at large. I must encourage each and every one of us. We are in any way you are contributing for this struggle. May the Chukwuoke Abiyama, Oye Primi Hinile, bless you, bless your handwork, bless your families. Let this new month be a month that you can never forget in your life in terms of good things. No bad things shall come near your dwelling. That is my prayers for all my fans, for all those ones who are sharing this message until it gets to the right source. Because we will keep on speaking, we will keep on lamenting, we will keep on doing everything possible to make sure that the world hear our voice. That is the only thing we owe. To get a freedom from the so-called Zoological Republic of Nigeria, we cannot do it or get it on a platter of gold. We must, in one way or the other, for those who believe, do your contribution, I do mine. United we stand and divided we all fall. So let us be mindful of what we say. I mean, in terms of making some such statements. Let's not be acting like touts, but rather let us be people who have enough wisdom to tackle what is coming before us. Because if you could remember, according to the books in the Bible or chapters in the Bible, there's a place they read, they said that the wise men came from the east. So as you can see, we are wiser than anything that the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, all those Fulefus that think they are dealing with us, we are wiser than them. And that is why we can never succumb to whatever threat, whatever obstacle they brought on our way. The bottom line is that we are Biafrans and we must get Biafrans, whether United Nations like it or not, whether European Union like it or not, whether ECOWAS with the Zoological Republic of Nigeria is heading, whether they like it or not. Because I have come to realize that ECOWAS is for the rich, it's not for the poor. It's not for those ones who have been maltreated unjustly. It's not for the people who have been receiving injustice on daily basis. That is not what ECOWAS is meant for. ECOWAS is meant for them to protect their own self. If you can imagine what is happening in Burkina Faso, upon all their bad rulings, upon all their bad governance, upon all everything that those people are passing through, the poverty in the land, ECOWAS refused to comment. But when they are scooped there, when the military revolt against the leading government, that is when ECOWAS will come and begin to give orders. Who ECOWAS have helped? That is the simple question we all have to ask ourselves. Who ECOWAS has helped in this dispensation, in this administration, in all the whole countries in Africa, both Somalia and the rest of them, who have been in war for a very long time? Have ECOWAS ever do anything there? They cannot do. But if you find out that a civilian or non-actors in the government rise up now to against the government or to chase the government out of their seat and take it over by force, that is when ECOWAS will come out to comment. Look at what has been happening in Nigeria. I have been following the news of this Biafra agitation, which I am member and full-time member of it, and I am following this news both locally and internationally. I've never seen where ECOWAS commented and tell the government of Nigeria to do the needful, or to even gather together to say to the international community that it is right time for these people to have their freedom. They never commented. But if there's any kind of rising up against this government in any form, I am very, very sure that ECOWAS will come out to comment and say that let justice be ruled. What kind of justice are we having? Look at the injustice being meted on Malami Kanu. The ECOWAS did not comment because the people who are heading the ECOWAS is also the Fulanis. The Fulanis is against the Biafra. The Fulanis is against Malami Kanu. The Fulanis is against the Igbos, and the Fulanis is against our struggle. You cannot give us a good governance. You cannot even enroll any of our prominent men to the very, very, very best position in the country, yet you want us to remain together, which is very, very bad. We cannot accept that. We are not a second-class citizen in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, we fought for the liberation of Nigeria from the British colony. Yes, our forefathers fought for it. Nnamdi Azikiwe is one of them. Zik of Africa, he is one of them that insisted that Nigeria must have its independence. And she got the independence, 1960. And they made him a ceremonial president. Since that time till date, have any of Igbo or whoever smelled that very particular position again? Never. The only person who managed to smell a vice is Kweme, which didn't last long. Okadibo was a Senate president. They killed him. And many more things that is happening in Biafra land. for you to know that these people, if you came at the seat and they see you and they notice that you are a stumbling block to what they are planning to do to the Nigerian nations, they will either silence you or they kill that person. Abiola would have been a very best president. I mean, one of the best presidents that Nigeria can ever have, that make Nigeria a better place to live. But what happened? After he won the election, they imprisoned him. From there, they poisoned him to death. Well, I cannot blame the Fulanis, because Fulanis, they always know how to play this game. They use the Yorubas. After the death of Abiola, all those ones who are among the killers and who silenced Abiola, all of them went to Asolo, going back home with bags. I mean, bags of money, not in Naira, but in foreign currencies. That is what they get. So after then, has Nigeria ever known peace? The blood of the innocent being shared in Nigeria and in Biafra land have been crying. That is why the nation can never be in peace. That is why the nation can never be in one accord. That is why the nation can never be the same. The Yorubas are agitating for Yoruba nation. Even now, the what do they call it? The Akwa Ibom, the Iboms. Yes, the Iboms now are agitating for their own state of for their own nation. So, how do you think we can handle this without the help of the international community or to intervene on this very issue? We cannot achieve it. But no matter what, come rain, come sunshine. If Muhammad refuses to go to the mountain, the mountain will come to Muhammad. So this affair or this struggle we are into, we must get it either now or never. Our struggle for the independence of Biafra or for the Biafra restoration must surely yield good fruits, not a bad one. Ojukus who fought for this war years ago, 1967 to 1970, 3 years of a civil war. If we give up at this very point in time, in their grave, they will never be happy with us. So we have to do everything humanly possible to make sure that we get to the root of this matter. Kanu, political solutions still possible, says Southeast governors. What kinds of political solution are they seeking again in this kind of issue, in this place we find ourselves? There's nothing like political solution. Kanu have already won in court and we keep warning them until the last day. So whatever anything they are planning about political solution or non-political solution, we don't have time for such. Yeah, because the people have already the Igbo elites, the elders of the land, the people who love the freedom and who always fight for freedom, have went to Buhari to seek a political solution, and he said, let the court decide the fate of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the court have already decided. Now they come out with another rubbish, saying another different thing that is have nothing to do with the court. And that is why the international community is questioning the Nigeria integrity when it comes to judicial processes. So we all have to put hands on this in any way you are doing this broadcast, to make sure that the international community hears our voice. Let them know that in all angles you can count us worthy. In the area of football, in the area of broadcast, in the only area that is good, one count Biafra number one. Because we have what it takes to change Nigeria for better. But they refused. So we have what it takes to make Biafra another Japan or China in Africa. So let us move straight into another news. How the IPOB is mourned the loss of our great Iroko chief, Mbazulike Amechi, who died some couple of days ago. May his soul find solace in the bosom of the Lord. Amen. With the global movement and the family of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, under the command and leadership of our great prophet and indefatigable liberator, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, commiserates with the family of the great icon and elder statesman, Chief Dr. Amechi Mbazulike, who transmitted to the world beyond on Monday night, 1st of November, the year 2022. IPOB family worldwide and the entire Biafrans mourn the loss of an icon who stood solidly for the better life of all Biafrans. IPOB will not forget the struggle and achievements of this icon during the liberation struggle of Nigeria from the colonial masters. Of course, he's one of those who fought for this. And his last wish before he died, he said Muhammadu Buhari should do what? To free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu only if we will listen. Because if we couldn't listen to the president, to the ones who are alive that went to him physically, then tell me how he will respect the orders of the dead. Again, IPOB worldwide will not forget the effort of our father toward the release of our great liberator, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who was kidnapped from Kenya to Nigeria by the federal government of Nigeria. In spite of his age and failing health, he led Igbo elders to visit the Aso Rock, Abuja, to plead with the federal government headed by Fulani impostor called Buhari to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as his last wish. But the impostor president claimed that only judicially will decide Mazi Nnamdi Kanu fate. Even after the same court have discharged and acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, same Buhari and his Fulani hegemony ignored the request of an old dying man and the court verdict because of incurable hatred towards the Igbo and Biafra at large. Chief Dr. Amechi Mbazulike was the only living icon that fought for the independence of Nigeria in 1960 and remained strong until today. God Almighty Chukwuoke Abiyama called him in his bosom. May he rest in peace. Buhari and his Fulani-controlled federal government must understand that Chief Mbazulike is not happy with them even in death for ignoring his appeal for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The time Chief Mbazulike were pushing for the independence of this murderous nation, Nigeria, from Britain, Buhari was in primary school, if he went to primary school at all. Of course, that is the gospel truth. This is the people who stands firm. This is the people who said there must be an independence in Nigeria, who said we are fed up with what we receive with the treatment we receive from the people who call themselves our liberators, whereby they are our oppressors. They oppress us to the extent of killing our young ones. They help us for the extent of starving the whole Nigerians with poverty that killed many innocent children. Now God Almighty will surely reward UK for the abomination that and the pains they caused our people back then when they were ruling the nation. We ask God Almighty Chukwuoke Abiyama to give the family of Chief Mbazulike fortitude to bear the loss, because Ndi Igbo has lost an Iroko they cannot see again, and who stood by the truth always. We lost an icon who wished to see Biafra nation in his lifetime. We mourn the great Iroko. We condole the entire Biafrans, especially Ndi Igbo, for this great loss. Papa, Jane Koma, we are coming to part no more. That is the truth. Buhari, it is time for you to do the needful. If you can truly respect the wish of this dying man who fought for this nation, who make sure that we got the independence that you people are enjoying today. If not, till now we will still be under the British rule. But all these ones, they fought for us to make sure that everything stands firm the way it's supposed to be. Wow. The great man, great Iroko has fallen. May his soul continue to rest in the bosom of the Lord. Let's move straight into this is international news, and it affects us and also the way we train our children. UK reminds 28-year-old Nigerian for stabbing mother to death. A Nigerian Nicholas Aina, who has been arraigned for stabbing his 64-year-old mother, Caroline Adeyelu, to death and injuring his 33-year-old sister, Angel Adeyelu, at their family house in Dagenham, East London, United Kingdom. According to ITV News, the 28-year-old allegedly went into his sister's bedroom and stabbed her repeatedly with a knife. After she had After she heard her mother scream, Caroline repeatedly went in to see what was going on. But the suspect allegedly lunged at her with a knife before fleeing the property in Ariele Avenue. Aina's mother was pronounced dead at the scene, while his sister was treated in hospital for stab wounds and discharged. Neighbor Samantha Sutney, who lived adjacent to the victim's home, reportedly stated that she heard the commotion resulting from the incident. She said, "I just had a bit of commotion last night. The police knocked on the door and said they caught the person. It is a little bit frightening. I now was happy to have appeared at Beckinside Magistrate Court before Judge Philip Casey on Thursday, November 1, where he was charged with murder and attempted murder. He was remanded in custody to appear at the Old Bailey Court on Thursday. A detective of the East Area Command Unit, Superintendent Richard Vettingham, described the incident as truly shocking. That is what you get when you give birth to animals as in children form. Well, you will spend the rest of your life in jail. That is the punishment for what you have done. And remember that your mother, even in the grave, will never forgive you. Professional praise singers and beggars, wicked blast Dele Momodu. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has berated former presidential aspirant and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) chief Dele Momodu, describing him as a professional beggar. He mocked Momodu for contesting the presidential primaries for 2023 and failing to secure a single vote. Ogute News recalled that Momodu incurred the wrath of Wike when he asked the Rivers State Governor and his allies not to cross the lines by maligning the party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar over their insistence not to work with him in the 2020 general elections. But Wike, who had initially given Momodu a response and more harsh words for him as he accused the news publisher of trivializing the issues affecting the PDP in order to get cheap popularity. The governor described Momodu as a man with an unstable character. All these professional praise singers and beggars who have nothing to offer just to rally around the presidential candidate looking for what they will eat are begging to abuse people. Those who even contested the primary without one vote are those who are talking. A presidential aspirant becoming a spokesperson to a presidential candidate, he said. Governor Wike made the submission on Tuesday at the government house in Port Harcourt when he hosted the management of New Telegraph newspaper, led by the managing director and the editor-in-chief, Mr. Ayodele Aminu, who were in Rivers to present a letter nominating him as the political icon of the year 2022. That is what we get from Wike, and that is what we get when you look for Wike's trouble. Wike can never give up. He can never back out. You can never win him because his mouth is ever ready to split fire. So, Dele Momodu, you are the one that look for trouble. Wike never look for trouble. He never even call you in one of his doings. So I wonder what triggered you to be making such a nonsense statement on the national TV. Not even a propaganda, but in a national TV. Warning Wike and the G5 governor that they should not malign or not across the line. Who gave you the audacity? A presidential aspirant is now a spokesperson to a presidential aspirant. Is that not insult? It's insult to your personality if you don't know. Not every office you people accept just simply because of your stomach infrastructure or what you stand to gain. That is why you belittle yourself. Don't you know that Atiku raided on your intelligence to make you a spokesperson for PDP, a presidential aspirant for that matter? You could have been wait when they enter to the seat of power. Maybe they can look for any minister or whatever to give you if you are that hungry, and you can't wait only for you to accept a spokesperson to a presidential, somebody you contested with at the federal level. Now you have demoted yourself to a party level as a spokesperson. It is a very shameful thing, and because of you people, because of your quest for what to enter your stomach. Tomorrow you people will come out and begin to beg, and I have not accepted any ministerial position. I am not dealing with the government money. I have my business or whatever. Though, can't you stand under your business? You went for primaries and you didn't succeed, not even a single vote. So that means not any of your statesmen or your family member or somebody who you know back then ago you have claimed to be in the politics for over 40 years or 30 years and no one can even cast a single vote on you. Now you devote yourself to a spokesperson, to somebody you can test it with it. So is this how you will rule the country if they give you? That means when they give you the presidential seat, go and rule this country, you will demote yourself to either to Senate or House of Reps and allow your vice to be ruling. It's a shameful thing to you, Dele Mamodu. If you have not hear it from my mouth that you have not done well. Give up that position and stop looking for troubles from those who don't look for your trouble. You're going to talk anything about Wike, you know he cannot shut up. Wike mouth is ever ready to spit fire. And you go to look for your trouble. Can't you continue with the war you're having with your own fellow hungry man, Fesut Keyamo, who are looking for cheap positions for what they will gain? You go to look for Wike. Is there in any level to compare you and the Wike? Is there even in terms of being in a government position or being in terms of wealth? You have nothing to offer, not even to the PDP. According to the news, you barely enroll into the PDP 2 months before the primaries, and they still have the goal to enter to the public and begin to speak fire on somebody who you know that is far more better than you in any way. You are looking for Wike's trouble, and when you get that trouble, please do not run. Glencore to pay 280 million over Africa oil bribes. That is what we see. Let's see what Glencore have done. A United Kingdom judge on Thursday told a subsidiary of Swiss miner Glencore to pay £280 million, that's $313 million, after it admitted bribing officials to secure lucrative oil contracts in sub-Saharan Africa. Glencore Energy UK Limited, which earlier this year admitted 7 charges of bribery and failing to prevent bribery, was fined nearly £183 million and ordered to pay £4.5 million in prosecution costs. It was also made subject to a confiscation order of £93 million, meaning it has to pay back criminally obtained assets. It is the first time that a British corporation has been convicted of authorizing bribery from the top, while the £93 million is the largest amount to be recovered through confiscation in Britain, the Serious Fraud Office said. The Serious Fraud Office, who brought the prosecution, also said it was the first corporate prosecution under anti-bribery laws passed in 2010. Judge Peter Fraser passing sentence at Southwark Crown Court after a 2-day hearing said the facts clearly showed sustained criminality using sophisticated devices to try to hide repeated wrongdoing. Glance Energy UK Limited played a heading role in organized and planned unlawful activity using agents and corrupting local officials in what was an abuse of the defendant's dominant market positions. Bribery was clearly part of the culture for a number of personnel in West Africa desk at the company's London office, is added. Make it very, very clear that UK have already seen the weak point of all these people in the Africans. So they are using bribe to bribe themselves out in every position they find themselves in Africa. Instead of them to do the right thing, they claim to be from a developed country who knows the law. Then somebody who knows the law can never descend solo to bribe anyone. So when you are charging somebody of guilty, or you are making some references on somebody who collect bribe, also make references on that person that give the bribe. Because if somebody asks, without not giving, the person will not take. That is the simple law. It's give and take. You give, I ask, you give, and I take. So when I ask, you don't give, I cannot take. I cannot take it by force. So both the UK, the company, and the person who collected the bribe, all of them are guilty of the same offense. The SFO, which began its investigation in 2009, described the case as highly complex and saw investigators sift through 1 million documents and interview employees. The private jet. The firm paid a total of 28 million pounds in bribes, with the cash often flown by private jet. Prosecutor told the court. Have you seen it? Cannot go through bank because they know exactly what they are doing is wrong. In Cameroon, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria, Glencore paid $26,901,820 through intermediaries, agents, and employees, intending a portion to be paid as bribe to those concerned in allocating crude oil, primary officials in state-owned oil companies, the court was told. In Equatorial Guinea and South Sudan, it made payment of $1 million and 1.075 million pounds to its agents, and failed to prevent them from using a portion of those funds to pay bribes to officials in order to secure valuable oil contracts. But Glencore's anti-bribery and corruption policies were largely ignored because corruption was condoned at a very senior level, said Prosecutor Alexandra Halley. Glencore Energy UK Limited, which has 30 days to pay, is a wholly owned subsidiary of Glencore UK Limited and part of the multinational mining and commodities trading group, which operates in more than 35 countries, employing some 135,000 people. Its parent company confirmed that it will pay a total of £280,965,092.5 million. Chairman Khalidis Mahapedi described the conduct as inexcusable and said it had no place at the company. Significant action had been taken to tighten procedures, and the company was cooperating with the separate investigations by Swiss and Dutch prosecutors into alleged corruption. Glencore alleged corruption. The timing and the outcome of this investigation remain uncertain, said Medhapedi. Glencore has previously reached agreement with investigations in the United States, Brazil, and over bribery and the separate U.S. probes related to market manipulation. So that is what we get. All these people have seen they have seen Africans finish, and they know that Africans like bribes. That is why they have to bribe their way out in securing deals. These people have killed Africa. They have killed us. Look at the amount of money they tell them to pay. Fine. Do you know how much the people have made? Well, these people have made trillions of dollars in all this deal they signed. This Glencore, to pay 280 million is nothing to them. 280 million, whereby they have made billions of dollars and pounds from the contract they signed. They signed the contract both in mining, in crude oil, and the rest of them. They have killed Africa. All those oil thieves you are hearing, all these people, they are part of it. That when they see those oil, they will go and give it to them, and they'll give them peanuts. That is the mentality of Africans. They don't know what they have. They don't know the use of crude oil. That is why they are misusing it, the opportunities to be trading on things that have nothing, that have no any moral to contribute to the growth of the country, or not even to their own region, other than bribes and corruptions. That is what they get on daily basis. Well, that sounds to people right. Tomorrow you will still go and look for another blind Africa to sign a bribery contract with them, so that you'll be getting stuff on a very cheaper rate and be selling it billions of dollars and pounds, because you see Africans that like they are mumu. My good people of Biafra, the lovers of freedom, the one who loves what I'm doing, who are always listening to my posts, and who are always out there to support my ministry. I thank each and every one of you, both male and female, my brothers and sisters, those who always leave their comments for me to know that they are watching my content. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please continue sharing this very content until it gets to where it's supposed to get. Our main target is what? The liberation and independence of Biafra, and for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu. Wherever you are, whether in the local or international level, please continue broadcasting, continue supporting the struggle in any way you can to make sure that we get to where we are looking for. Until I come your way again, I still remain your one and only Okute Daily Talk from my own corner, where we split the truth, and truth is the business of the day, and that is what we preach on daily basis. Have a nice day and have a nice Friday until I come your way again. Bye for now. Okay, Messiano.